welcome to this week's edition, that's episode 13, of Impacted. And today, as usual, I am joined with the hostess, with the mostest. The guy that comes in from empty space, the void of his mind. The Joe-Ker!
Hello, Lord Bison. Welcome to the void.
I'm glad to be here, my friend. I am glad to be here. Thank you for welcoming me into the empty space of the void. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, my friend. Well, episode 13, of the new formatted version of Impacted. We've managed to get here. It is the final Impacted of 2020. Obviously, we'll be looking to do. We've got a Christmas TNI special coming up next week, so please make sure that you guys tune in for that one. I think the details will be released via the Total Nonstop Impact Twitter account, obviously later on, probably this week. So fingers crossed on that one. Make sure that you guys tune in. It's going to be great. It's going to have us all there. So there'll be me, Joe, Bison, me, Joe, Trent, J-Bone, Kyle. I believe Alicia will be there as well. And of course, ringside Bill, or Blair Witch Bill, as they seem to be calling him now. And I'm not sure whether Mark's going to be there. I haven't heard, but maybe possibly Mark will be there as well. So hopefully the whole of the TNI team will be there, just to basically do a recap of 2020, really. Just talk about, our highs and our lows. And hopefully there might be a few special things going on as well. So make sure you tune in for that one. I think that's going to be really cool. Like I say, it will be live, so everyone will be able to interact with that. So please feel free to get involved. Okay, Joe. So we've got some big stuff, haven't we? Especially from a news point of view from this past week on Impact. I managed to get in to see as much of it as I possibly could. But let's talk about some of the sort of kind of like the big talking points from the week, really. I think, I'm not going to go with the biggest. I'm going to leave the biggest till last. But for me, there was definitely a few different highlights in there. We had a Moose promo inside the ring, which I thought was okay. I think that he still needs a little bit more work on his delivery, but he's definitely getting there. I thought at one point he almost forgot what he was going to say, but he sort of kind of quickly got over that. We then got what I thought was the best promo I've ever heard from Willie Mack. It came straight from the heart. It was very real. I know that in the past that I've been a little bit critical of his promo stuff. I sort of kind of feel that, it's not quite there yet. But I was left eating my words on this promo. I thought this promo was absolutely fire from Willie. What did you think, Joe?
Yeah, Willie Mack's promo skills have gotten better and better since he had that beer with the Dinas. But that promo last night, like you said, it was from the heart. It was absolutely fantastic. I watched along with everybody on Twitch, and everyone went absolutely crazy for it. Everyone was really, really behind Willie Mack.
Yeah, the fact that we ended up with a Genesis match of a Moose versus Willie I Quit match. That is going to be Titanic, isn't it?
That's going to be off the charts. So I was about to say to everyone, this needs to be last man standing. And then Willie Mack announces what match he wants, and he beat me to it. I wasn't fast enough to tap it in my phone. But I'm looking forward to this match. It's going to be good, and it's a great way to start to kick off the card for Genesis. It might not be the first match, but it's the first one that everyone thinks.
I think it's going to be badass. I tell you now, Genesis has got to be must watch Impact Plus special. There's going to be so much going on because it's the week before Hard to Kill. So there's going to be stuff in there now which is going to relate to the Hard to Kill pay-per-view. So it's must see. We're going to get some incredible matches on there. I'm really looking forward to this Impact Plus special, and I think everyone else should be too. So that's great. So there's our first match set. Willie Mack versus Moose in an I Quit match. I don't think it's a title match. I think it's just literally an I Quit match. It's a grudge match. So
yeah, it's a really big grudge match.
I think it's a big grudge match. Okay, so the next thing that I've got down here is sort of kind of like the news, because obviously we're very excited about the Knockouts tag tournament that we've got going on at the moment. So this past week on Impact, we also saw Kira Hogan, Tasha Steelz versus Team Ragnarok, obviously Rosemary and Taya. This ended in obviously Kira and Steelz win. I think it was in reality due to the distraction created from Deanna and Kimberly, obviously getting in there, giving the girls a little bit of grief, taking Rosemary and Taya off their game. But what I do believe, so obviously Kira and Tasha now move on to the final. They are in the final. That's it now. So we now need to wait and find out, is it going to be Jazz and Jordan Grace, or is it going to be Nevaeh and Havoc in the final? I'm still going to go, even though I'm a massive fan of the Death Machines, I'm still going to go with Jazz and Jordan, because I think it makes sense. If you're going to bring in someone like Jazz for the star power, for the to create a bit of buzz, then you've got to use her all the way to Hard to Kill, in my opinion. So I'm pretty certain that we're going to see Jazz, Jordan Grace versus Tasha Steelz and Nevaeh, and Tasha Steelz and Kira Hogan. And what better way to give Kira and Tasha the rub by beating Jordan and Jazz? What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think Tasha Steelz really put on a hell of a show in this match. She really got to show how good she is especially against Rosemary. She was on fire in this match, not to take the flame from Kira Hogan. And they've set up a great potential rivalry now with Taya Valkyrie and Deonna Purrazzo going down the line.
Yeah, definitely.
We've seen Deonna Purrazzo's dealt with all the demons and all the trash. Now she's got to go up against full-blown class.
I would not be surprised if we don't see either at Genesis or at Hard to Kill Taya versus Deanna. I would not be surprised at all. Like I said, we've already had Deanna versus Rosemary, which we're going to talk about in a bit. So would be depending on where this is all going to go. I mean, we also know that Taya, her contract is coming to an end in February. So again, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Will the longest reigning Knockouts champion prevail against Deanna? Again, we're just fantasy booking. This is where I think it's going. It would be interesting. It's just my opinion. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I hope. I'm sure it's going to be a title match when they eventually clash heads. If not for the first time, the second time.
Yeah.
And if Taya Valkyrie wins, I hope she re-signs a contract, and it's not going to be like when Josh Alexander and Ethan Page had regained the tag team titles. It's just a short stint, and then we're in limbo with Ethan Page, but that's another talking point for a bit later.
Yeah.
Going back to your point on Jazz and Jordan Grace, I think they're probably going to go through to the final. As much as I'd like to see Nevaeh and Jessica Havoc go through, but they put on a good showing against the Sea Stars, so they've showcased how good they are, and now it's time to really give Jazz and Jordan. It's a big circle, and it's all gelling perfectly. That people aren't, just because people aren't going through it doesn't mean they're not getting a good showing. If you just have to watch the product.
Yeah, exactly. I think the bottom line is that whatever's happened in terms of wins or losses, what we've seen from every single team has been really good showing. They've made sure that everybody in this tournament can prove that they are a worthy tag team.
Exactly.
And I think that is amazing in itself. So regardless of what happens, I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day, whoever wins out of Jordan and Jazz and Nevaeh and Havoc, the loser of that one will probably end up being the first to start to challenge whoever wins in the final.
Definitely.
That's my thought on that one. Like I said, because I think Taya is going to be taken away a little bit to concentrate on a potential feud there with Deanna, which I think if that happens, that is going to be insane. And I think that's going to be, like, if she resigns especially, that's going to be a feud for 2021.
Yeah.
Certainly the first half, that's for sure.
We've definitely got a rematch with Kimberly and Ty Valkyrie and Rosemary and Deanna Purrazzo. Definitely of them two tagging together again.
Yeah, there is the potential of that as well, definitely, without doubt.
So,
I think we are going to see Taya versus Kimberly first.
that's going to be good too.
Yeah, I think she's going to go through Kimberly to get to Deanna. I think that's where we're gonna go with that one. It looks like you froze there, buddy. So I hope you can still hear me. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. So we then moved on to the Ethan Page, Josh Alexander versus Brian Myers, which I have to say was a pretty awesome match.
Yeah.
It was a great match with Josh and Brian Myers. They both proved that they are both two fantastic talents in the ring, and we saw Ethan Page come down to the ring, trying to give Josh some encouragement and getting involved. Brian Myers was like, I'm not having none of that. Takes him out, with a ring post as soon as he possibly can. Ethan Page disappears off our screen. We're there like, oh, he's obviously knocked out or something. That's what they're playing here. We then get some more fantastic. Yeah, we then get some more fantastic in-ring action from Josh and Myers. Both of them got some really great offense in, and there was some incredible selling, which I know that Bully Ray especially, has big issues with the way people sell in the business these days. He says people can't sell moves. I beg to differ in this match. I thought Josh and Brian sold beautifully, and it was an impressive story.
Fantastic job.
It was an impressive story being told from top to bottom. We then obviously had a bit of an issue because as Brian is getting Josh exactly where he needs him, suddenly we get the Karate Man arrive. He pops up from behind the ring, jumps in, and basically lays it to Brian Myers, which then leads to disqualification. And of course, Josh Alexander loses. Brian Myers wins. Brian just leaves as if to say, whatever.
I love it. He's laughing. And
he's loving life. Off he goes. He's got another win under his belt. And of course, Josh is not happy. He's not happy at all. So what we start to see is, again, we're starting to see more sort of kind of like fuel to the fire of the split up of the North. I do want to talk a little bit about Ethan. I mean, we know that his contract's coming up. We know that this could possibly be in his last set of tapings. I strongly believe, and we've already discussed this off air, that I actually think he's signed to Impact Wrestling. I think this is a big work. I think they're playing everybody. They're playing the world. It's another one of those kind of like, is he or isn't he? I think they just made so much of it. On all sides, really. They've been allowed to unfold on the TV, and they've also, Ethan has been very vocal that this could be his last tapings. What's he
he's
gonna do?
Really rubbing it in.
Yeah, he's speaking to other parties. He said that Impact have been happy for him to speak to other promotions and all this kind of stuff. So, and I just think it's going to lead to a big reveal in January that he's re-signed to Impact. They offered him a great deal. He could not refuse it. It's where he wanted to be. The best wrestling promotion in the world. All that kind of stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's just my thoughts. It's some of the things I've been thinking about when I sort of see the stuff coming up on social media, when I see the things that are happening on screen. It just gets the old, it gets the old brain ticking over and thinking, oh, what can this be? And again, that's the most exciting part of wrestling, right? Is like, where is this going to go? Do we, what's going to happen? And we love sort of kind of, booking it ourselves, don't we? We love. This is what we want to see. But and I have to be honest, I love it when I'm wrong, because when I'm wrong, they dupe me. I've not seen it coming. They surprise me, and that's exactly what I like. I love it when they surprise me.
Yeah.
So
I like it when you're wrong and they, like you said, they surprise you. There's places up north when you're wrong, you're still not blown away. But Impact Wrestling, if you're wrong, they really, really do prove you wrong. And when Ethan Page will be a great example if he resigns. Stanley Callahan and Eddie Edwards, what they did with them throughout their entire rivalry. We thought it was over, and then it comes back, and when it comes back, we thought, oh, it's going to be shit, it's going to be boring, it's repetitive. But they put on match of the year, like that. It's just Impact Wrestling is so smart how they book everybody.
I think they 100% know what's going on. They know. At the end of the day, if Ethan was going, they know. There's no getting about that. He's made his decision what he's doing. You cannot tell me he's just waited and waited and waited. I mean, that's rubbish. He's signed a contract somewhere, right? Or he's about to sign a contract somewhere. He knows what he's doing, right?
He's setting up a big match with Josh Alexander when he
exactly
going solo.
I mean, could that happen at Hard to Kill? Or Genesis, maybe, a new birthing of a new year. This is the thing. What's going on. I actually think it would be great if we saw like we did with this whole gimmick change thing that happened on this past week. Imagine if the match was Josh Alexander versus Ethan Page and the Karate Man.
Yeah. Halfway through the match, Ethan Page gets knocked out and the Karate Man comes out from under the ring.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? And the way that things are filmed now, it could just happen so easily. I don't. For me, that's a Genesis match because it's a tape thing. You know what I mean? Like you could say, right, stop it, Ethan. Get sorted, blah blah blah, and and then the next thing you see, the shot then pans over and he's coming up from behind the ring as the Karate Man. I just think there's so many cool stuff that they can do. I mean, look what they were doing with Su Yung.
Yeah.
With the whole Susie and the Su Yung thing and the way that they. I thought it was great. The way they did it. They could do more though. I mean, the great thing about doing it like this. With the empty arena, so nobody gets to see anything. They can play around with all the different taping. The way that they can play with the different effects and stuff like they did with the Susie and Su Yung. But they could do so much more. I mean, could you imagine actually physically having Susie and Su Yung in a tag match?
That would be amazing.
It would just be mental. It would be absolutely mental because, like you say, you use a body double.
Yeah.
For the back shots.
Yeah.
Then and that's how you do it. You basically you have four people. You'd have four people, two Su Youngs and two Susies. That's what you have, right? And then when you're doing the back shots, it's always the body double. You know what I mean? So you can do it, mate. It can be done, and I think it would be amazing if something like that happened. However, I don't think that is going to happen. What I think is Su Young's going to turn into a new character. I actually believe that since Father James Mitchell has taken her away, he's going to reinvent her. She's going to rebirth into another character, and that's what all this Triple X thing's about.
Yeah.
Her social medias. Her Triple X. Have you seen that? She's doing all this Triple X stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. I think she's going to be a new character. So we're going to wait and see. She's going to be reborn. She's going to be just as badass. It's going to be a combination of Susie and Su Yung. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that pans out as well. But we're getting off. We're totally going off thing here. We need to get back on it, mate. We need to get back on it. What I will say is, guys, leave us your comments. Let us know what you think. Like I've always said, these are just our opinions. If there's anything there, I'd love to know your thoughts on where Su Yung is going. I'd love to know your thoughts on Ethan Page. Yeah. I'd certainly love to know your thoughts on that promo from Willie Mack. I mean, that was just insane. It was so good. It was fire. Where are we going with Genesis? We've got a Moose versus Willie Mack I Quit match. Where's that going to lead? How are we going to get Moose involved in this title picture? How is this all going to pan out? Interesting how that's all going on. Taya versus Deanna. Is Taya staying? Is this going to be the feud, the early feud of 2021, or is this just like a final farewell, title challenge for Taya? Who knows? I'm going to be interested to see how this all pans out. Okay, so I want to move on quickly now to what I think is the most intriguing, most complex, and most interesting storyline, which is going on Impact Wrestling at the moment. Apart from the stuff which we've got going on with Kenny, I think this storyline, the Us storyline, is the best. It was amazing. The promos that we saw in this past week, where we had Cody Deaner is being baptized to reveal his purest form. I fucking love this. I think this is an awesome storyline. I'm really excited to see where this is all going. And like I said before, there's so much more to come. He is going to be, I don't know what you want to call it. He's going to be baptizing many, many more people coming into his group of Us. So it's going to be interesting to see where all this pans. I'm excited about seeing where this goes in 2021. What are your thoughts on this storyline, Joe? Because I think it's amazing. Yeah. I love the prison stuff they were doing. I thought it was great. Yeah. The music was good. EY was great. What are your thoughts?
I was expecting Medina's to break up soon, but I wasn't expecting Cody Deaner to do what he did at Final Resolution.
We'll get to it in a minute.
I put it out to him that it was the heel turn I was not expecting. And the promo that Eric Young did this week, like you said, it's one of the best promos of the year, alongside this Su Young and Susie thing. It was just dark. It was...
Sorry, Joe. Sorry, go on.
It was dark. It was really setting up the changing character that Cody Dean is going to have now. It's literally, he's not a nobody. He's now Us.
Yeah.
Whatever Us is.
Yeah. And he's now in his purest form. So that means that he's going to be aggressive. He's going to be, I don't care. He's going to go for it. So I'm interested to see where this storyline goes. I don't want to say any more on it because I'm so excited about where this goes. I've got no idea where it's going. I really haven't. And like I did say, though, I did see the it was going to be Cody that turned on Jake rather than Jake turning on Cody. I did say that. Everyone else was like, oh, when's Jake going to turn on Cody? Got to split him up, blah, blah, blah. Nobody said that it was going to be Cody that was going to do the turning.
Yeah, we've got Jake and Rhino possibly coming together now as well.
Interesting stuff moving forward. Now, and the last thing I just want to quickly talk about, this past week on Impact, we saw an amazing match, I must admit, between Carl Anderson and Chris Sabin. Carl eventually defeats him. We get, the thing where Carl is headed out to the back. As he comes through the curtain, Rich Swann sort of kind of appears, and he's like, come on, you're a true champion. You don't need to win like that, and all this kind of stuff, because obviously there was a bit of shenanigans going on. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere comes the flying boot of the century. We saw the big LG make his big return, didn't we? Good Lord, I think the big LG booted Rich Swann into 2021. What are your thoughts on that?
I was so surprised to see Doc Gallows back, because even earlier in the night, Josh Matthews was saying he's still out for another 2 or 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. Yeah. From Ethan Page attacking him, and to have Doc Gallows come back, and we're now seeing the reunion of the Bullet Club, and the way Doc Gallows took out Rich Swann, smashed him into that glass pane against the brick wall, and then. Yeah. The Motor City Machine Guns got a massive beatdown too. It set up this match perfectly.
Perfectly. Kenny Omega comes into the picture, and all of a sudden, a match that we didn't think was going to happen, all of a sudden does happen, and it's announced for Hard to Kill. Well, the main event at Hard to Kill, Kenny, Carl, and Doc, or Kenny and the Good Brothers, which is a reunion of the Bullet Club. Not only is it a reunion of the Bullet Club, it's also they actually said it on Impact TV. So again, this is where it leads me to believe that there is definitely friendship starting to bloom. Now with New Japan Pro Wrestling, because the Bullet Club is New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's a faction that they own. Yes, we saw it on Ring of Honor, but we saw it on Ring of Honor because they had a working relationship.
They're partners with New Japan.
Exactly. So now what we're seeing now is the Bullet Club officially a thing now for Impact and AEW? Is this now? Are we now seeing this 3 company partnership? Is it? I
want to know if the Young Bucks are going to get involved.
Well, there you go.
Because the Motor City Machine Guns are on Rich Swan's side, and the Young Bucks have got a big history with Motor City Machine Guns
as well. Exactly. So it's going to be interesting where all of this goes. But our big main event at Hard to Kill is going to be Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, the Good Brothers, the Impact Tag Team Champions, versus Rich Swann, the Impact World Champion, and the incredible Motor City Machine Guns. At the end of the day, there's only room for 2 machine guns in Impact Wrestling, and Carl's not one of them, apparently. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see exactly where this goes moving forward. I think it's very exciting. It's one hell of a main event for Hard to Kill. We're going to see 6 incredible talents fight it out in the ring. And if that's not a draw to buy a pay-per-view, I don't know what is. Just that on its own is going to be one hell of a match. So we're really looking forward to that one. Now, one last thing I want to mention, and this is a sad moment for me. Unfortunately, it looks like Jake Crist is going to be a free agent come January. He's announced it now on the socials. And from all of us here at Total Nonstop Impact UK, Joe and myself, I just want to say a huge thank you to Jake for being an incredible performer for the past 2 years. It's a shame that we've not seen him much on the tail end of 2020. But, at the end of the day, X Division champion, the Golden Draw. He's also a tag team champion on Impact with OVE. So, at the end of the day, fantastic showing over the past couple of years. And I really, really hope that, we see Jake back.
I hope we see him down the road.
At some point down the road. It's never a goodbye in wrestling. It's always see you down the road. Fingers crossed we see him again. But, for now, thank you, bud. You were great.
Yeah. I wish the Modern Man in Black the best of luck.
Yeah, best of luck, bud. And hopefully we'll see you down the road. Right. Okay. So what are we here for today, my friend? We're here to do a final resolution preview. No, we've done the review, didn't we? We did the review, not the preview. We did the preview. We're now going to do the review.
Yeah, it's time for bragging rights.
We're going to find out, aren't we? We're going to find out today who's going to end up with the bragging rights to this card. I'm still, well, we know, don't we? We do know, but we'll let you know at the end. So, what were your initial thoughts on Final Resolution? I thought it was a really good pay-per-view. A really good special.
It was right up there with Victory Road. It was a lot better than Turning Point was. It was a lot more solid, and it was a lot more engaging. And the matches were built up a lot more better as well, I think. And they were a lot more unpredictable as well. And Chris Bay and Rich Swann, that was match of the year for me. I wish I could change my vote now, because I put the main event at Slammiversary as my match of the year, because that was just a massive feel-good moment for me seeing Eddie Edwards win. But Rich Swann and Chris Bay, they changed their offense so much than what you'd expect, and that match was just insane, and one of the best matches from both of them.
Oh, it was a great match. I mean, we'll get to talk about that in a bit towards the end. But it was
Final Resolution delivered. That's just
definitely.
I'll leave that, yeah.
I mean, when you think that at the end of the day, this was an Impact Plus special. It was pay-per-view quality for me. I thought the matches were great. I mean, I think some of the outer ring stuff wasn't quite as good. as you would sometimes see. But the actual in-ring action I thought was pay-per-view quality. It was a really, really good special. Now, the very first match off the bat was Tommy Dreamer versus Larry D. Now, I'm not going to lie. This, for me, I didn't think was as good as it could have been. It was okay. I mean, it was okay. You know, I just felt that, you know, it wasn't necessarily the match to kick the show off with. You know, but it was okay. It was hardcore.
Very hardcore.
Exactly what we expected it to be. You know, I mean, we got, you know, Tommy Dreamer bringing a bin down full of stuff like he always does. There was tables involved, you know, trays, all sorts of stuff, kendo sticks. I mean, everything that you would expect from a Tommy Dreamer hardcore match was there. I also thought that Larry had a good showing. I think he performed
very impressive.
really. Yeah, he was very impressive. He showed a very aggressive side to his character. I just didn't feel it was the right match to start the show with. That was just my thoughts. I wasn't sure it was the one to kick the show off with, but they did. And you know, like I said, it was a solid match. We were both wrong, as obviously we put Larry down to win, thinking that the whole idea was that Dreamer was putting Larry over. But you know, end result, Larry is now heading to jail. So it's going to be interesting to see where all this pans out. You know, he's headed off to jail. You know, are we going to see the birth of a new character? Was that the death of Triple XL as a tag team? I don't know. So interesting to see where this one goes, isn't it, Joe? Oh, you're disappearing on me today, Joe. So I should just keep going.
Yeah.
So we then move on, and we had the Sea Stars versus Havoc and Nevaeh. Now, you know, I think we were both right.
It's
right on this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe, you keep breaking up, my friend.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see how this one pans out.
Okay. I mean, they're different locations.
Yeah, you're definitely cutting out, mate. So we're just gonna keep going on this one. So the Sea Stars had a great showing. You know, they had some good offense in there. They took some great shots from Havoc and Nevaeh. However, they both looked really strong. I thought both teams looked strong in this. So I'm really pleased, and I hope that you know, we see the Sea Stars again. You know, there was it wasn't until recently I realized.
Yeah, I enjoyed.
It wasn't until recently I realized that Sea Stars sounds like sisters. Okay, so they're sisters, they're Sea Stars, and yeah. Anyway, that's that's an interesting thing. But it was a great match. We were both correct. We both went for the Death Machines to win. So yeah, so far we're even Stevens, my friend. Okay, so we're back. Sorry about that. Just
we got hacked.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think maybe there was an ICU moment going on there, Joe. It was definitely all cutting out and going all wrong. But we are back, guys. We are back, and we're just going to move on to the Tenille and the Caleb versus Eddie and Alicia match. So we had Tenille with Caleb in the K versus Eddie and Alicia Edwards. Again, we were both wrong on this one because we went for Eddie and Alicia win. Of course, we had a loss. Yeah. So we had Tenille and Caleb with a K winning. It was a good match, actually. Oh, Joe, you've gone again.
No, I can. Yeah, I'm here. Eddie and Alicia, I thought they were going to win, and we were both wrong.
We were definitely both wrong.
Yeah, but then, of course, whenever you see Alicia in a match, you know there's a high chance she's going to lose, which is a shame. But Tenille and their rivalry is going to be really good. I hope this is the start of really seeing Alicia Edwards in the ring a lot more, because she's been with the company quite a long time. She's been with her since around about the time Rosemary and Ali were really starting to be main event players.
Exactly, and of course this past week on Impact, we saw her we saw Alicia base to Neil, didn't we? And actually, that was a really, really good match. I thought Alicia was great. So she's obviously been working really, really hard, hasn't she?
Yeah, Josh Matthews had mentioned that Eddie Edwards has obviously been really bumping her up as well, like as a tutor. And I love Alicia. She's just so fun to watch. Like I said on the last when we did the preview to it, you feel sorry for her when she loses, and when she's getting her ass beat. Whenever she fights back, you really get behind her. She's just so. She's so scrappy. It's just so fun to watch her in a match.
Yeah, she's a bit. Funny you should say that. She's a bit like Scrappy Doo, isn't she?
Yeah, so I thought I was thinking what especially when she went up to Caleb Connolly and just like whacks him a few times and everything like that. She just doesn't hold back. It's just brilliant to see.
No, she's not scared of anyone either.
No, especially Sami Callihan.
No, she just doesn't care. And I think that's a great thing. She's just as crazy as Eddie is. So I think it's great to see that she's now starting to get a little bit more TV time. And like I said, I think her in-ring is definitely improving, or it's definitely improved a lot. And of course, her promo skills have improved also. So, we are seeing a very much improved Alicia Edwards now. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how far this now goes and how much faith they're going to put in her moving
She's getting
forward.
More merchandise as well.
Oh, yeah, it's got loads of stuff now. I mean, they got the Lishisms T-shirt or whatever it is. I don't know if you've seen that. It's quite good. But yeah, so we got a Tenille and Caleb with a K win with a distraction from ICU, and then, at that moment, Sami didn't come out. He just caused a distraction, which was enough for Tenille and Caleb to get the roll up and get the win. Now, we then obviously saw Sami coming from underneath the ring, to eventually obviously attack Eddie, to then as he's about to attack Alicia, we then get obviously security coming out, and of course that doesn't happen.
No, security are like pussies. You just tap them and they fall over.
Oh, they're rubbish. They are rubbish. But we did see Sami get out of the ring and obviously walk up the ramp with his baseball bat, and so we know that this is setting up something quite special, possibly Genesis Hard to Kill, who knows. But what I do know is when we see Eddie and Sami in the ring, we get gold.
We've got a match to kick off the year with Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan, but I don't think that's going to end the rivalry. And I hope that it's not like a last match with Sami Callihan.
I mean, we know that his contracts are coming up. Sorry, Joe, that you're cutting out again. So we know that we know that Sami's contract is coming up. So we but I think the likelihood is that Sami's going to continue with the company. And I don't see any issues there at all, really. Real shame, Joe, you just disappeared. Okay, so we are definitely having a few technical issues today, but just bear with us. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this together. That's
I think I've brought everyone into the void a bit too far.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
We're all hitting the empty space.
Yeah.
It could be. Could well be, but anyway, so we're sort of kind of cracking on. We're hoping that this is not going to be the end of Sami. I don't think it is. I think it's just the start of building that feud into 2021. Again, great, fantastic TV. I mean, it's money. If we're getting more eyes on the product, there's no reason why we can't do it again. It should be. I think it's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that one goes. We then move on to a backstage segment where we get Gia Miller, who is trying to get on the bus to speak to Kenny Omega. Of course, we then get Don Callis, who's obviously cock blocking, and informing us he is only here to see his family. So Kenny's not actually there for anything other than just to, meet up with his family. Of course, we're not sure who that is at this moment. Is he just talking about Don? I don't know. Is anyway, setting something up.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking that maybe this could then, because of the history with the Bullet Club, I knew that Carl Anderson got Gallows were obviously in the Bullet Club with Kenny Omega. So when he said family, Carl Anderson instantly crossed my mind. Because I knew Doc Gallows was still away, and Carl Anderson had that match later on the night. So that crossman went straight away, and it was like they was the first seed of what was to come afterwards, really there. So
Yeah,
it's like,
you could
again,
be right.
if you miss an Impact Plus, you're going to miss a bit of the storyline for the rest of the week. So it's keeping all that linked together again.
Exactly. I mean, I think they're doing this so well now. Nobody expected to have any of this Kenny stuff on this particular special because everyone knew that, again, it had been filmed at the previous set of tapings. So nobody knew anything about any of this stuff. So it's interesting to see how they're tying everything in now, leading up to obviously the end of the year. So we then move back into the ring. We have a little bit of a build-up stuff with regards to Hernandez, Falaba. We get Tasha Steelz coming to the ring, being the ring announcer.
This was fantastic. She was so brilliant.
She's so good. She's so good at talking, isn't she? She's got a great sort of kind of like way that she sort of kind of puts everything over, and that works really, really well. Of course, there was some puns in there, and Falaba was coming in from the jungle or something. I don't know. There was all sorts of stuff going on in there.
He was the man panda or something.
The man panda, but he looks more like Winnie the Pooh or something. I don't know. Yeah. There was all sorts of stuff going on in there, which I thought was quite funny. But obviously, we get that match come out. I thought it was quite good, actually. I mean, Hernandez proved again, that he can go. He's an older guy now. He's getting on a little bit, but he could still go in there with Fala. And of course, we end up with a Hernandez win over Falaba, which I must admit, I wasn't expecting that at all. So, because I went with Bao on this one and you went with Hernandez. So this is one that you're winning over on me. So at the moment, Joe, you're in the lead when it comes to the bragging rights, my friend. So, at the end of the day, I didn't see that coming. However, shock, horror. Tasha didn't have the money, did she? Where was the money roll? It's disappeared out of her fanny pack. It's gone. Where is Hernandez arm wrestle cash? Where's it gone? We don't know. What's she done with it, or someone stole it from her. This cash is certainly being passed around. And again, when we thought that this storyline was going to end, it still continues.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on this storyline?
I love it. It's a good comedy spot, and it's just another fun to watch thing. I can see it now. Now we get Hernandez probably taking on Johnny Swinger, or Falaba taking on Johnny Swinger now to get the money back. Yeah, because Johnny Swinger got the cash this week.
Past week.
Yeah, I don't see it like leading to a fallout between Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, because they're too focused on winning the tag titles.
Yeah. And all I know is at the end of the day, it's one of those things where they're just continuing that storyline, they're continuing it, and it's eventually going to get to the ultimate payoff, I'm sure, at probably Genesis. I think that's where the ultimate payoff's going to be, and that's where the story is probably going to end. And maybe something else is created out of it. I don't know, because obviously Genesis is all about renewing everything for the year.
Exactly.
So it's going to be interesting to see where this one ends. And like I said, I'm sure it's going to be there.
You might get Swinger, Falaba, and Hernandez in a triple threat match for the money.
Who knows?
Well, let us know, guys. What
are your thoughts, guys?
Yeah,
let us know your thoughts. It'd be interesting to know what everybody thinks on this one. I mean, do you like the storyline? I personally do. I think it's fun. I know Joe likes it as well. But, do you guys like it? I know some people don't really like the comedy stuff, but, I quite like it. It adds a little bit of light entertainment. It can't all be about, hard hitting and serious wrestling. You've got to have that. You've got to have that little bit of sort of light entertainment element in there as well. One of the things I think Impact do so well is they have such a mix. There's something for everybody on Impact Wrestling. That's what I say. Now, so at the moment, Joe, you're ahead in the bragging rights, my friend. You're ahead. So we've got to see how this one sort of like pans out now. So what's next? EY versus Rhino. So, at the end of the day, we both get this one correct because we end up with an Eric Young win, again with a slight assist from Joe Doring. We then get, which is an interesting match. I think this was a solid match. I thought it was solid. It wasn't groundbreaking. It was a solid match. But at the end of the day, you're always going to get that. When you talk about a Rhino and you talk about Eric Young, you've got two veterans, solid workers. They're always going to give you a good match. So
fantastic.
Yeah, I think so. If you're going to look for a good solid match, you stick these two in the ring, and that's what we got. We got a good solid match, and we got a good story told. Did it set the world alight? No, but it was a good solid match for the card. So we then saw both the Deaners coming out. Obviously to give an assist to Rhino, because obviously we got the Joe Doherty, it was all coming to a halt and everything else. And then we saw the turn, didn't we? We saw the surprise turn of Cody on Jake, where we had Cody looked like he was about to, go hell for leather, Armageddon on EY, and he just literally turns and smacks Jake right across the face.
Yeah,
and
he screamed at Eric Young that he's not a nobody, and I thought he was going to go for Eric Young, or he was going to go for Joe Doring and push tries like there. But when he turned around and clotheslined Jake, it was one of the biggest holy shit moments for me of the year, and there's been quite a few.
Just weren't expecting it, and I know that a lot of people have been saying, Jake needs to turn on Cody. Jake needs to turn on Cody. And if you remember on the preview show, I said I thought this was where we were going to see Cody turn on Jake. And I was really excited when it happened, because obviously, it's something that I thought was going to happen at some point. Whether it was going to happen here, I just thought it was going to happen soon. I actually thought it was going to happen when Cody had his match with EY. I thought it was going to happen there. And that match is all about him proving himself to be not a nobody,
That's why I was expecting it around then, or except to kick off at the start of the new year. They'd have like a rematch, and then Cody would just snap then.
Well, I think we're definitely going to
surrender to Eric Young rather than turn on somebody else.
I think what we're going to see, though, we're going to see a Jake versus Cody match at Genesis, because obviously now we've, on this past week on Impact, we saw that we had the rebirth of Cody. So he's obviously the new version of Cody. So it's going to be interesting. I think that's what we're going to see for the ultimate breakup. Does Jake need Cody? No, he definitely doesn't. I think it's now time for him to turn into his his indie character of Jake Something, who is a complete animal. And an amazing character wrestler. So it's going to be, I think that's where we're going with this. I think they finally saw that it's time to let Jake go on his own. Cody's going to move over into the Us faction. And again, we're going to obviously see where all of these things go over the couple, leading into 2022 now. Like I say, it's how these storylines are going to carry over into Genesis and beyond, Hard to Kill, etc. And beyond that. So interesting to see how all of this is panning out. Leave your thoughts in the comments, guys. I'm really interested to know your thoughts on the Deaners breakup. Where you think this is all going with regards to Eric Young's Us faction. Like I said before in our little news section, that I think this is the most interesting storyline on Impact at the moment, and it's a real slow burn. I mean, this has been going since Eric Young's arrival at Slammiversary, back in July. So this is obviously something they're seeing as a big story. So who's going to end? Who's going to be next? Who's going to next to be baptized into the purest form? Who knows? Who's it going to be?
The theories coming out on Twitch. People were saying Falabar might be one. Moose. It was really interesting to see what some people's thoughts were.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be Moose, because Moose is already in the narrative thing.
Yeah.
So Moose definitely not. I think it's probably going to be someone else coming in from the outside yet.
Yeah, that's what I think it should be.
Yeah, and then obviously there are a few characters in there that could be brought in that are already on the roster. Maybe Bar could be an interesting one. Brian Myers maybe. could be interested. Bring him into that storyline.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything massive with Brian at the moment, so I don't know where that one's going with him. They certainly need to start bringing him into something big, I think, at the moment, to not lose that buzz with Brian. Of him coming to
Brian Myers and Josh Alexander could carry on. I thought their match was fantastic, but that isn't going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah, well, I hope not. That is a big rivalry. And the bottom line is, at the end of the day, Josh has now got a loss on his record, so he's going to want to try and redeem that, isn't he? He's not going to want to leave it. People don't care how that's happened. At the end of the day, when you look at it, it's a loss. Brian Myers beat Josh Alexander on this past week's Impact, so it's going to be very interesting to see where that pans out. I think we're going to get to see that again. That could be a Genesis match, or it could be a Hard to Kill match. Who knows? But whatever happens, those two on the card again could be a night stealer.
Yeah.
Because I think they're gonna really show how good they really are. So yeah, interesting to see how that's all going to pan out. Definitely. So like I said, guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Love to know. Then we move on to the final Defeat the Rohit Challenge of 2020, as it's been billed. And we know that this has been burning for a while now, where this was going to go. We just didn't know when it was going to happen. But I thought Rohit come out. He did another great in-ring promo, as he always does. He's always fiery, never fails to deliver. Done a great job again. And then the music hits, and who is it? Manic.
Yeah.
And what do you think of his new look? With the whole, this bit of his face sort of kind of reminded me a little bit of
Pentagon.
Pentagon Junior. So, but I thought he looked great. What do you think?
It's Manic was one of the first wrestlers I'd seen when I started watching TNA, along with him, DJZ, and Tigre Uno. They really got me engaged in the X division. And to see Manic come back rather than it being Suicide or what you predicted, a new character, I thought it was a bit more justified to bring Manic back, because it's like the bit of nostalgia as well.
Yep.
And it was so great to see, because Manic's offense compared to Suicide or TJP is still quite diverse, which just shows how good TJP is. So each character has got their own set of moves. It's not like a carbon copy of somebody else in a different costume, which is so much it's the best thing about Suicide, especially because he's been played by Caleb Connolly and Crazy Steve, and some people have speculated Jake Christen in the past. So
yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. You're right, he does. He's sort of kind of like, when he's Manic, he has this, he's still, there's still moves in there that he does as TJP or whoever, but he does have this sort of kind of like slightly different moveset. There are stuff in there that he does as Manic that he doesn't do as Suicide, TJP, or Puma, or whatever, some of his other alter egos. And I think I thought it was good to see Manic win. I think what they've done is effectively, it's been a case of getting a win for TJP, another title reign, whether it be as Manic, TJP, whoever, it doesn't really matter. But giving him another title reign is almost saying thank you for everything that you've done for the past 12, 18 months. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's, at the end of the day, you've been a true veteran. You've put on some of the best matches of the year that we've seen. When we needed you, you've stepped up to the plate. I'm not going to be surprised if we don't see Manic or the TJP or whatever signed fairly soon, because we know that he's not actually a signed. He's a pay per appearance character that has said that when it comes to the US, I'm only going to perform on Impact Wrestling. Which is great to see. And we know that he's been doing some stuff with New Japan. And again, he loves New Japan, so that's great to see that. But I just have a feeling that we're going to see that contract, strapped to TJP, because we need to keep guys like that. We know that, he's an amazing performer. It doesn't matter whether he's Manic, Suicide, Puma, TJP. It doesn't matter. He's always going to put on fantastic matches. And he's great to have on any card. He's a great representation of a champion in whatever form. So I think it was amazing to see that. And I think if anyone was going to defeat Rohit, then, it has to be a character of TJP. Yeah. No shame in losing to a TJP character, right?
Yeah, I want to see a rematch. I don't want to see Rohit get pushed aside and not get a rematch or have any shenanigans to get the rematch. I want to see the rematch he deserves.
Well, I'm pretty certain that's going to happen, my friend. Yeah. I think Rohit in the latter part especially of 2020 has proved that he is incredibly talented guy and can carry a belt.
He played out his story when he started to really build himself up. He said he's been the bottom of the barrel and he's built himself up the way he has, which is exactly true. He was pretty much a jobber for a while.
He was a guy that everybody sort of kind of beat, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that was a shame to see. But
now the same route as Cody Deaner in a way.
Yeah, I guess so. But, I think we all knew that you're going to get a good match out of him, though. Whenever he got in the ring, he proved that he's a damn good wrestler. And there's a lot of people out there, they don't realise how long Rohit's been around. I mean, he's a good, 16, 17 year in the business guy. So... and so he knows how to go. He does great promos. We all knew that. A lot of us out there knew that from his, seeing the stuff that he did at AEW. We were just like, oh, give Rohit the mic for how long? That was going on forever. The hashtag.
That was a hashtag for a good 3 or 4 months.
It was a long time. And of course, we eventually got there. And I'm a big fan of his promos, hence why I got him to do a promo on the Bison for our interview that we did earlier on this year. And that was superb. That came straight off the top of his head. And I thought that was pretty awesome. And again, he's the sort of guy that you literally just have to go, right, this is what we need to get over in this promo, this, and this, off you go. And, I think in the business they call it one take. He's a one-take promo guy. So it's going to be interesting to see sort of kind of where we go with Rohit, but I certainly don't believe that's the end of him. And I don't know. I got this feeling. I have this feeling that maybe Rohit is going to be moved into the tag team division, and we're going to see Karam come in from AEW, his indie tag partner. Don't know if you know Karam. He is basically he is the muscle to Rohit's hustle on the indie circuit, and again, he can give a great promo as well. He's amazing in the ring, and he really is he's a massive dude. He's jacked. So I don't know. I just feel are they transitioning him into the tag division, to bring in Karim for the whole muscle and the hustle faction? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. But you're right. We do need to see Rohit at least get a rematch at the title. And I'm sure that's coming. That's coming. Okay, moving on. So Deanna Purrazzo versus Rosemary. Now, again, that was an interesting matchup, wasn't it? I mean, Rosemary's definitely back to her best. Do you agree?
Oh, I agree. Rosemary is really, really back in her game now, and we even got to see a Red Wedding, which was great. I missed that move so much.
Well, exactly. I mean, I think it's been a case of she's not physically been able to do it. Yeah. Which is why we haven't seen it for so long. We know that the whole of 2020, she's only been in the ring a few times. It's only been now in the last sort of kind of month or so that we've seen her regularly now in the ring, and she's not holding back. She's back to her full ring capacity, I think, which is fantastic to see because she is an incredible in-ring. She tells the story so well. She's never out of character. I love the whole zombie thing that she does.
The best entrance in pro wrestling right now.
Yeah. The only one that comes close, I think, is Sue Young. So, and for me, they're very, Very close. I know some people go Sue, some people go Rosemary, but I think Rosemary is fantastic character, great way that she comes in. It's a lot of fun. I just think that this also highlighted how good she is, regardless of whether she won or lost. It said, right, Rosemary is back. She had a great showing. There's some great offense, I think, between her and Deanna. We saw a really, really good match because Deanna was solid as hell in this match as well. It was very slick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no wasted motion. It was very smooth. A lot of what you would say about TJP, really, or Manic as he is at the moment.
Yeah.
He's very smooth. Everything he does, just rolls from one thing to another. I think we get that from Deanna Purrazzo as well. She is that good.
Yeah, she gelled with Rosemary really, really well. Both of them had very little wasted motion. Rosemary got the signature spots with the trencher on the turnbuckle and everything like that. But even like grappling and offense wise, she didn't have much wasted motion. And Deanna Purrazzo really did test her. Yeah,
it was a cracking match for me. One of the matches of the night. Again, I always say that when we get it's something I can't say about other promotions, but Impact Wrestling, the Knockouts division, every single time that they have a match, the women really do deliver a great match, don't they?
Yeah.
Because these girls, they can really wrestle. And they really do a good job. And I think it was great.
It's obviously quality over quantity.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. Now, of course, we had a bit of shenanigans going on between Taya and Kimberly, plus. And I think what's really interesting there is with all that shenanigans going on, we then get the roll up, we then get the 1, 2, 3 for Deanna. So Deanna retains her title. Again, we both got that correct. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, that I got the Manic win, didn't I? You went for Rohit and I went for Manic.
Yeah.
So that evens us back up, buddy.
Do I get a bonus point for guessing Manic, though? Because you thought he'd come in as somebody else.
Unfortunately, my friend, you can't change the rules, after the event, can you? You know what I mean? And let's not get ahead of ourselves here, young man. So with the shenanigans, we do get the Deanna retention, which is great. She's an amazing talent, and she's doing a fantastic job. I know that a lot of people are saying that even though she's only been here for like half a year, that I know a lot, not the whole year. A lot of people are saying she is the wrestler of the year for Impact Wrestling. Because the way that she came in, I suppose when you think about it, I mean, she's only missed a couple of months of the year. She wasn't around January, February. She came in April, didn't she?
I think so, yeah. She started her promos in April and she came in May or June.
Yeah,
when she was there. Really started to come into do the backstage segments.
Yeah, but everything that she's done since she's been there has been really strong and solid. We know that the team up north have really screwed up on this one because. Their loss is our gain without any shadow of doubt. And she's doing a fantastic job and carrying that title like a true champ. So I'm pleased to see that. I am a big Rosemary fan, and I would have loved to have seen Rosemary win, but I get that it's not her time. It's Deanna's time now. However, that doesn't mean to say that if Rosemary re-signs it, we won't see another title reign from her.
Yeah, I want to see these two go at it again as well. I'm really hyped to see it after what we just did to Rosemary again in that tag match against Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz. It's going to build onto something really good.
I think so. I think we're going to see some stuff now. I think you're going to see Taya Rosemary in feuds with Kimberly and Deanna Purrazzo moving forward. Will we see another match with Rosemary involved? Being with Rosemary versus Deanna, we might do. You never know. I think in the moment it's heading towards a Taya versus Deanna Purrazzo match. So because we definitely got the face down, didn't we? We got the showdown. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly where this one pans out, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. Leave us your thoughts on this, guys. What did you think of this match? Joe and I thought it was fantastic. I'm really interested to know what you guys thought, where we're going with it. Where do you think we're going to go with it? What do you think is going to go on with Taya? Is Taya going to, are we going to see Taya re-signing? We get a big a nice feud in the early part of 2021. It's going to be very interesting how this one pans out for sure. Now we then head over to the bus, don't we? We head over to the bus out in the parking lot. Kenny and Donna in there, and who do we find is in with them? And of course, the family member himself, Carl Anderson's in there with holding his tag belt, his dear old tag belt, as close as he possibly could, his baby. And we get some interesting interaction there. It's very clear that they're trying to sort of kind of like big Carl up, and they're going on about the New Japan stuff. They mentioned the G1 and, that he made the final of I think he lost to Okada. I might be wrong. But he was in the final of the G1 Cup or whatever it is for the New Japan thing. So, making a big thing in a whole machine gun and all that kind of stuff.
Guys on J-Bone laughing.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I think Kenny doing the ba 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 ba, I think it's funny as anything. Because there's loads of sound bites coming from that one, I'm sure. I just think that they are really sort of kind of building this up. They're not just obviously giving us everything all in one go. They're building a story. So this is clearly got some longevity in it because it's a story which is building. And of course, they sort of kind of give Carl the pep talk. Carl picks up on the fact that that's what they're doing. But anyway, and then off he goes to have interaction for his match later on. So we get Carl Anderson versus Ethan Page. And basically what they were trying to say to him was, look, you should take care of this guy easy. That's what they're saying. This guy should be done and dusty. You can get back to the past. We can carry on partying. Carry on with our, family reunion that they've got going on. So anyway, so we get to the match, and the match, in all honesty, was not short at all. It was a very good match, and I think I think Ethan got in some fantastic offense as well as Carl. I mean, Carl looked great. And he is a world-class professional wrestler without shadow of a doubt. And I believe that Ethan Page is also. I thought this was a good match. What were your thoughts?
This match was one of my favorites. It was the best match I've seen from Carl Anderson since he's come in. And it was one of the best matches from Ethan Page I've seen for a long time, especially with Ethan Page going solo, because his tag matches are phenomenal. But it's been a while since I've seen him go solo.
Yeah,
and it reminded you of just how good he actually is, and how his technical ability is fantastic.
Yeah, he's great. He's great, and he's a good seller.
He's fantastic.
He's good at selling, and he's fantastic at telling a story. I think what I did was not long after this match aired, I went to Twitter and I was like, that Carl Anderson Ethan Page match is a classic example of how to tell a story in the ring. Or just tell a story on TV, full stop.
Yeah.
Like, just literally from the entrances, all the way to the end, where we saw Ethan clearly being extremely distressed, and we saw Josh taking off his North jacket and just sort of kind of like throwing it to the floor and walking off. And then you're left with this view of Ethan Page, the broken Ethan. He's a broken man at this point, isn't he? And he's like, I can make this good. I can
fix this.
I can fix it.
I can fix this.
I could definitely fix this. And he's talking to Penzer, and he's all over the place. And you could tell he's totally distraught. Some great storytelling and story advancement in this moment in the ring. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. And of course, we know where it went on Tuesday this past week on Impact, which we talked about earlier. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how much further this can go, because it's a big story, isn't it? With regards to the North and Josh. I think, like I said, we've got this breakup story. We've definitely got this breakup story going on. I think it's going to lead to a Josh Alexander versus Ethan Page.
It's going to be a good send-off.
It's going to be good. So if Ethan goes, he's going to have a great match to go with. If he's not going and it's leading into like solo runs, or I don't know, at least we may get the North a little bit later on down the line. You never know.
I've said it before. If Ethan Page stays and the North break up, there's no stopping them reuniting again down the line, especially if they both signed long-term contracts.
No, exactly.
Both of them are Triple Crown contenders.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got the main thing is that Josh is signed now right the way till the end of 2021. I think it's like the early part of 2022. So he's signed all the way through to that. Now, like I've said previously, even if Ethan just signs till the point that Josh he says, right, okay, I'll sign, but I only want to sign up until the point that Josh is able to leave. So we could potentially, if we decide to at the time, we could leave together.
Yeah.
As a team. And we could have our dream matches with whoever we want, kind of thing, depending on wherever they go. It'd be interesting to see where that goes. But, I like I said, I think Ethan's staying. I explained why earlier. But anyway, leave your thoughts, guys. Again, we're very, very interested to hear what you guys say, and we love interacting with you. So please leave your comments down below. Let us know your thoughts on this storyline and where you think it's going. Okay. So this now leads. So by the way, we both got that one correct. So at the moment, we're neck and neck, my brother. We're neck and neck. Where it's now down to the last match. So so we get the Swan versus Bay. Now, obviously, we get the win from Swan, which I think we were both expecting. So we are both correct on this one. So look at that, guys. Final result, we get a draw.
Yeah.
There's no bragging rights on this one. It's a draw. Joe and I were right.
It's all Pentagon's fault.
That's it. We got six right each, buddy. We got 6 right each. So it was but this was an amazing match, wasn't it? Swan versus Bay. We knew it was. We thought it was going to be. It was going to be a fast-paced kind of X-style match, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because both the guys are renowned for being very good technically, but they're also big on speed. They're small, so they go
fast.
Very fast indeed, both of them. So we thought that we were going to be hit with this sort of kind of X Division style, fast-paced, match, loads of moves in succession and all that kind of stuff. But what we actually got was a bit more of a storytell from the start. It was actually quite a slow start match, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The pace was perfect to finish the night off with, because if you had a fast-paced match at the end of the night, you would have been burnt out too quickly. So they paced it well, and they showed off just how good technically Chris Bay and Rich Swan exactly are. So it was just perfect. It was one of the. I wish I could change my vote for match of the year. I wish they kept the votes off a week just so this match could go, and then I could vote for that.
Well, I think potentially what will happen is this one will be included in next year, won't it?
Oh, I hope so.
Might still have to vote for it, but who knows what matches we're going to get? Who knows? I think you're right. I think it was a great match. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, is Chris Bay ready to be, battling for a world title shot?" I think he answered our questions, didn't he? Really,
yeah.
I think he was fantastic. And over the past, several months. His in-ring has been great, but his promo stuff has been improving, all the time. He's become more and more confident, hasn't he? He's been more and more finesse as time went on. But this was not an easy win either for Rich Swann, was it?
Oh no, it was just.
It was end-to-end stuff. I mean, the guys were, it was. Rich Swann was taking the advantage. We then got a load of stuff from Chris Bay, and it was kind of contestant. They were both having. It looked like they were actually having a good time.
They were having a fantastic time
because they were having a fantastic match. And I thought it was really, really good. Obviously, we ended up with the Rich Swann win, so he's going to obviously continue on as the Impact World Champion. I think so far Rich has done really well. I think his matches have been great. He's a bit hit and miss outside the ring, but I think his in-ring stuff has been fantastic. I just thought it was really, really good. We then obviously got Moose coming down to the ring. We then thought, Moose was obviously going to lay the smackdown to everybody.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He was very calm. He just literally picked up the belt. And I don't know whether this was a sign of respect, which I think it was actually, because when he promoed on the following Tuesday, he said that he respected Rich Swann and all that kind of stuff, didn't he? So I think he picked it up and handed it over to him slowly as a sign of respect to Rich Swann. So we're definitely seeing something build here. With some point, I think we're going to see a Moose and a Rich Swann showdown. Whether that's going to be when that's going to be, I don't know, because with all this stuff, going on. I mean, we know it's not going to be at Genesis because he's facing Willie Mack at Genesis. We know it's not going to be at Hard to Kill because
I'm thinking Rebellion.
Maybe Rebellion or maybe Slammiversary. It's going to be interesting. When it happens, it has to be a big pay-per-view. It cannot be. I don't think it can be as a special. I think it has to be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, or we get a triple threat with Kenny Omega in somewhere.
That could be interesting as well, Or maybe Kenny Omega takes the title from Rich Swann. Maybe we don't see Moose Rich Swann. Maybe that happens, and then we see, later on down the line, we see Moose win the Impact title back from Kenny Omega. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see exactly where all this pans out. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? Where do you see this going from here? I somehow there has to be Rich Swann Moose. There has to be.
There has to be, or else I'm going to riot.
It has to happen. They're setting it up. You're seeing it before our eyes. It's being set up, so it's got to happen at some point. It's just when, So, what are your thoughts, guys? Let us know your thoughts down below. Joe and I are both extremely interested to hear what you guys got to say. But that's it, really. I mean, that is our review of Final Resolution. Obviously, the results in our review. We've ended up in a bragging rights draw. I'm looking forward to doing this again, Joe.
Oh,
maybe we could. Obviously, we'll do it for the Genesis. But this is the final impacted episode of 2020. Like I did say before, we are going to do a TNI Christmas special. So make sure you look out for that one. I believe it's going to be next week or the week after.
Next Tuesday, I think.
Is it next Tuesday? Yeah, so I think it's next Tuesday. So look out for that. But what a year, guys. What a year have we had. It's been an amazing year, really, for the Impact product. It's going from strength to strength. Got some amazing storylines going on. We've got loads of new wrestlers, and now we've got all this AEW stuff taking this to the next level. All that's left to say really is, thank you for a great year of wrestling, Impact, and we are all extremely excited now to see where 2021 takes us, aren't we, Joe?
I'm just so pleased that Impact turned such a negative from the pandemic into such a positive. I've said it loads of times. They're the company that has really taken all the negativity from the pandemic and turned it around to their advantage. You got to look at Rohit Raju, you got to look at the Dinas, Willie Mack, Chris Bay. Even when she was there, Kylie Ray, how they all just shot out the ladder. And Deonna Purrazzo, and now look, we got Rich Swann as the world champion. He's backed up why he should be world champion. It was a bit out of the blue for me, to be honest, as well. But I was happy to see Rich Swann come back into the ring.
But he deserves it, doesn't he? Because at the end of the day, he's been amazing. I actually believe that the plan was to get Rich Swann to beat Tessa Blanchard originally. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the original plan.
I know the plan was with Tessa Blanchard was to have her get taken up by the Good Brothers after the match or something like that, and now to bring them in as a heel.
Yeah.
Or that there was a lot of fog around what was the plan there. But there, there was, I would love to see, if Michael Hogan was still there, I'd love to see Michael Hogan and Rich Swann go at it again.
Oh yeah, that would have been interesting as well. So you've had a lot of great stuff going on, and we're going to be talking about a lot of that, I think, on Tuesday. So make sure that you tune into that. That's going to be good. There's a few little surprises on there as well, so it's going to be interesting to see where that one goes, definitely. But I think that's it for today. So Joe, where can we find you on the socials?
You can find me on Twitter at Joker empty space. Jump onto Facebook, look for hashtag empty space, hashtag the void. You'll find me on a few wrestling groups. You'll probably get a link straight to my Facebook timeline, or you can just look for Joe O'Keefe, KEEFE, because some people spell it with one F, some people spell it with two. In my case, it's two. And Instagram, again, you'll just look for empty space, look for Joker's Wild or Joe-Ker Wild.
Yeah.
So
I think we'll definitely be able to find you somewhere. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, you can step into the void. Just you won't get as much glitches as you have today. It is the unlucky 13.
Maybe that's what it is. Episode 13. So we're a couple of glitches in there today. But anyway, if you're interested in following the Bison, I'm only really active on the Twitter sphere. So at Lord Bison 45. Please feel free to give us a follow. Don't forget to give us some feedback on today's episode. A nice thumbs up, which helps us get on other people's feeds, so that lots of people get to see our show. Don't forget to subscribe. I just want to say a massive thank you to all of our TNI fans for helping us hit over 1,000 subs now on YouTube. Obviously, we were looking to try and get there for Christmas. We seem to have managed to have done it well in advance. I'd be interested to see where we do actually get to before the start of 2021. But I know that we've certainly well and truly over the 1,000 subs mark. So I think it's 1,012 or something. So we're doing extremely well. I just want to say thank you so much to all of you guys for helping us get there. I know that we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Joe and I are both looking forward to getting back to Impacted in 2021. We might have some other interesting news coming forward into that as well. So don't forget to keep your eye out on the @WeTalkImpact Twitter. Loads and loads of information going on there. So like I said, don't forget to give us a sub. We're also available on all podcast outlets. So we're looking at Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We are there. Don't forget to head over to the Pro Wrestling Tees Total Nonstop Impact store. You might be able to pick yourself up one of these bad boys. Joe's got one on the way, so he's going to be looking forward to wearing that one. Currently, he's got his Joker t-shirt on.
Oh yeah, old school throwback.
So like I said, guys, this has been a fantastic year. So Merry Christmas to you guys.
Have a
fantastic New Year. We'll see you in 2021. And this has been this week's episode 13 of Impacted.